Hello friends, welcome back. Okay, so I want to ask the cards and do a little research here on what are the differences between people who are like um, Bitcoin maxis that have cold storage, like that's the one side, and then somebody who's like in the ETF on the other side. And what are the differences between those scenarios? I won't even say those people, but as an experience, what are the differences in that earthly experience? So that's what I want to look at here. I'm looking at a dichotomy. I'm looking at like from one extreme to the other. What's that experience going to be like for the two different groups? What qualifies you from one to the other? If you own both, nothing, because you own both. But if you are one or the other, then you know you are one or the other. If you own Bitcoin, but it's on Coinbase, I would say you lean more into the ETF group, because you're not actually holding. Someone else is holding for you, and you have to ask permission or, request your Bitcoin as opposed to just going somewhere and getting it. So if you don't know the difference, start asking questions start reading and doing research to let yourself know the differences. Okay. Inhale. Exhale. So you want to talk about a dichotomy? Inhale, exhale. The two extremes of breathing. Inhale, exhale. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the two extremes here. There's in and there's out. There's inhale and there's exhale. Okay? So that's what we're looking at here. What's the difference between, and we had a little peek of that when I went in and did the, Coinbase ETF, which is sort of encouraging me to take it further and do this reading. But the dichotomy that lays before us in terms of experience, I think is going to be very profound. Bitcoin owners and essentially non-Bitcoin owners. I guess there are three groups. Maybe we could do three groups. I don't know. I think those two groups are pretty much the non-holders of any Bitcoin whatsoever are also going to go into the ETF Bitcoin folks. So if you don't have any Bitcoin whatsoever in any way, then you are part of that ETF group. Because there's either people that hold Bitcoin, like that hold their own Bitcoin, and then there's everybody else who either thinks they hold Bitcoin or they don't know that they don't own Bitcoin. Right. And that's pretty much the way it is. You must forgive if you want to be free. Do it for yourself. Okay, so if you are one and you want to be the other, you need to forgive yourself and say, okay, I thought I had this under control, but apparently I don't, so I need to find out more, and then find out more. Just do it. There's so many Bitcoiners out there that want to talk to people. Do you know how many Bitcoiners are out there trying to orange pill people and nobody wants to listen? And then suddenly you come to a point where you want to listen? Are you kidding? There's so many people that want to talk to you. You'd have to push them away. Seriously. Like, seriously. So, there's that. Anybody who owns, well, pretty much anybody who owns Bitcoin really wants other people to benefit from it, because it has no bearing on their Bitcoin. Whether you own Bitcoin or not, it has no bearing on it. They're going to have their own experience with their own Bitcoin, but they don't care if you do. In fact, they're happy because that's one less enemy they're going to have when everybody needs Bitcoin and they don't have it. So, you know, you got some too, then you're going to be more of a friend. You're going to be self-sufficient, and you're going to have resources, and you're going to be able to survive. So, okay, anyway. Oh, green witch cards, please tell us. Oak tree. Yeah, and little acorn and the mighty oak. There's another dichotomy. Very small, very large. So, looks like the cards know exactly what we want. Let's see, oak tree. Oak tree. Oak tree, 83. Power, courage, strength. The oak tree is a popular symbol of strength. The wood is dense and durable, reliable and long-lasting. This tree symbolizes power and bravery, telling you that you can stand up to whatever storm is on the horizon. The mighty oak begins as a tiny acorn. It is reassuring to know that something so immense and strong started out as something that you can hold between two fingers. Not only does it remind us that small things can yield huge results, it also reminds us that growing takes time. Rapid growth uses energy to reach a goal quickly. Slow growth uses energy to ensure stable, strong development. The oak tree card urges you to be brave and to stand tall. Is there something you've been avoiding because of the fear of confrontation? Okay, well, yeah, if you're involved in one of these things and you try to take out your Bitcoin, you're probably going to have a little confrontation there. They don't want you to hold custody, and they'll give you all these reasons why you're not capable of thinking for yourself, even. Right? Isn't that what happens? So, okay. Anyway, that is another dichotomy, the oak tree and the small acorn. Familiar one as well as inhale, exhale. And forgiving. You always think you're forgiving, you know, for the benefit of someone else, but really, you're forgiving for yourself. So that's another dichotomy of looking at forgiveness. This is fun. I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I was inspired to do this. Okay, let's see what else we have. Honoring your energy. You know, and that oak reading was all about energy. And what's Bitcoin about? Energy. It's all about energy. Honoring your energy. Honoring your energy. Honoring your Bitcoin energy. Okie dokie. Alright, let's see what this is all about. Number 15, honoring your energy. Honoring your energy. We all have those days when we are disinclined to do anything. We try all sorts of mental tricks to talk ourselves into doing what we should be doing. Does this ever work? No. We end up feeling guilty, a very low vibration, for not getting anything done, which causes us to try twice as hard the next day, which causes us to get overwhelmed and exhausted, which then leads to becoming caught up in a vicious cycle. Your body has rhythms, just as everything else on the earth does. Flowers, trees, plants, and the elements, the tides ebb and flow, sun and moon rise and set, animals hibernate, flowers grow, bloom, go dormant. You need to listen to the inherent cycles within you, rest when you need to, work when you need to. Try not to outthink the natural rhythms, go easy on yourself, and reserve judgment. You are your own harshest critic. Okay, and that was a lot more, you know, this and that, yin and yang, moon and sunrise. Forget all the worldly knowledge that thou hast acquired, and become as a child. Then will thou get the divine wisdom. Become as the small child. I think there's a biblical, this is what Ramakrishna, but I think there's also a biblical passage that says something similar. Okay, well, so we want to see the difference between people that own self-custody, Bitcoin, and everyone else. Pretty much everyone else. Alright. I kind of feel like, well, okay, we'll just go with it. Alright, cut the deck. Now, I think I'm going to just do, because those Kachina knives, they are so good at focusing on the issue immediately. And then if we want to go further, we can do some other things. I don't know that we'll need to, but we can. So here we go. So here are everyone else first. What is everyone else, what is their experience going to be like throughout this earthly transition that we're going through? Okay, and that's okay. Major Arcana is coming out. Wow, okay. A lot of Major Arcanas. Okay. So it seems like, well, it seems like the people that don't hold Bitcoin are, you know, being seen as the emperor. They are the structure in place. They are, you know, maybe the ancient wisdom of Babylonian magic money. Although, again, I would feel that would be more of the Hierophant. But there's definitely 9 of Pentacles here, so, I'm sorry, 8 of Pentacles here, so there's definitely, you know, work being put in. They're doing the work. Are they doing the work? Or maybe the Emperor's overseeing the workers. The workers feel like they're getting paid, so they're moving out of troubled water. However, opportunity and movement, they're being seen as moved out of troubled water, but there is they want opportunity and movement. Devil's in the details. There's judgment to the system. And there's also 8 of Swords, so inner head, mental entrapment. I kind of feel like the Emperor, the controllers, the world controllers are controlling the workers, okay? And the judgment is being made about that, and that's what Bitcoin does. So the Emperor is controlling the workers, and there's a judgment being made about that. The external world sees us moving out of troubled water, you know, and we are. If we're moving into Bitcoin, you know, we'll be able to move out of troubled water into better places with the 6 of Swords. We are coming in, seeing movement and opportunity here. Movement may be to Bitcoin and opportunity to Bitcoin, but they're seeing that there's opportunity. They see themselves as having an opportunity to do some work. And I think what's happening is that this opportunity of doing work is not authentic work. It's like, although their motivation is there, it's almost like the illusion of work, because judgment's going to be called and they're going to realize that it was a manipulation and they have to be in their heads about it because they're limiting themselves to the ETF, and that's not a real thing. Because of the society, they're making a judgment based on incorrect information, and they think they're getting this opportunity. Wow, we're going in, we're going to get Bitcoin, they're going to hold it for us, yay, it's great. But when all comes out and the judgment is made, they're going to realize that they've been manipulated. But they're realizing now that maybe this isn't good. Maybe the ETF isn't great because of what's been happening lately, and they're, jumping up and down and saying, well, this is ridiculous, 12 hours, it must be 12 hours. If they were really dealing with Bitcoin, they would realize that lightning is instantaneous and 12 hours is even absurd. But okay, due to the volume of what they're doing and the volume of the company that has to deal with them, then sure, 12 hours, why not? Okay, I agree with that, sure. But seriously, anybody who holds in cold storage doesn't even care about 12 hours. I mean, honestly, they don't. So I think a lot of this stuff is just, this is the old system controlling the workers. Again, there are people coming in, they want the opportunity, they see themselves publicly as, oh, okay, we're going on board, we're going to be Bitcoiners. But the truth is, they missed the boat. They're already having anxiety about the bad decision because they went with, oh, yes, society will take care of us. But now the judgment is that, hey, wait a minute, we're not being taken care of. So the experience that they're having is this. Okay, I think I've said enough. Let's see what the experience is for people who hold in cold storage. What about the Bitcoiners who hold in cold storage? I know, I kind of broke the dichotomy energy, but I think we communicated what we needed to. I think I just threw my team off a little bit. But now we'll do the people who hold Bitcoin, because that was, very wonderful card layout. It was clear, a lot of major arcanas, emphatic where needed to be, with details. That was a good reading. Card layout. Okay, and this is people that hold Bitcoin in cold storage, self-custody. Okay, they're already magical because they do self-custody and they know how. Okay, and yeah, here's a totally different feeling here. Totally different feeling. Wow, totally different feeling. Yeah, a whole different thing. You can even see the color of the cards is like a whole different thing. Okay, so this one is just, the energy is so much easier. We start out as being magical because we know how to use Bitcoin and we know the details of Bitcoin and we know how to do cold storage. And we've already done it and we have our wallets established and we're happy people and life is good and we've got strategies and all kinds of shit. So we are magical and damn straight we are. Okay, and where we go on the Ten of Cups, of course, because we are magical. So, and this card, we're not being tossed aside. We were tossed aside before. Now we're outside. We're all coming together and saying, screw you. We're going to do this instead. And, fuck all y'all, basically. Because, we got it figured out. We're magical. Now, they see us as, wow, you're like this new innovative guy, wow, and we're like, yeah, innovative my ass. I am rich beyond belief, and you have no idea. Because I got Bitcoin, baby. That's what we're thinking. And we're like, we're already here. And cast me aside. I walked away. Yeah, I don't want your crap. And we're starting our whole new world over here. We've gone inside and we've figured it out. We've gone inside and we've become enlightened. And we know, and we understand, we see the dynamics, we see the clown show, we see all of that. But we're ready to go, hey, screw all that. When that finally gets to be dead, I'm so happy to see what new things are going to come. So, yeah, that's the difference between them and people that hold in cold storage. So, wouldn't you want to be somebody who holds in cold storage? Because that was like a much nicer energy. Like, because that's the way it feels. That's what it is. Alright. Before I do that, I'm going to, go into anything else here. Get all crazy with the tarot again. I'm going to just do this other stuff. And then if we need to, we'll come back to the tarot. But for now, we'll just put that little guy aside. And let's see what the Lenormand wants to tell us about the dichotomy of owning Bitcoin and cold storage versus everyone else. Because we figured out everyone else is, it doesn't really matter whether they hold the ETF or Coinbase or whatever else they're doing. If they're not holding in cold storage, then they're the rest of the world. That's the way I see it. I know, I don't want to qualify, everybody in that way, but, either you do or you don't. It is what it is. Alright, garden. No, friends, society. Being with friends, society, having a bountiful table. Having enough to share. Enjoying, sharing with friends. Okay, and death of the old. Nonsense. This is almost like the dichotomy of life and death. And a message coming in. Message coming in. So, yeah. Yeah. Message coming in. Well, I guess maybe, could this be the message coming in? That, you want to be with your friends, you don't want to be with the dead people. Is the message. You want to be this, not this. Be this, not this. That's the message here. That's the message. Be in the garden with friends. Don't be in the coffin. There's our dichotomy again, one extreme or the other. What are the differences? What are the differences about this experience? What are the differences? The end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle, I'll leave it here, approaches. Okay. Full moon in Capricorn. Okay, the end of a tough cycle approaches. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you are wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true, without being ruthless. With a love question, this card could be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Release control and trust the universe. A professional project may be ending now. Admit if you have been overly hard-headed or hard-nosed. Find a balance between your personal and private lives. It's time to stop fearing the worst. The full moon in Capricorn has a strong work ethic and energy, and will more than likely come up when you're asking a professional question. If your question is about another matter, it will serve as a much-needed reminder to move through any feelings of hopelessness you may have about your situation. And this applies no matter when you draw this card. Making a plan is far better use of your time. Well, there's practical Capricorn building, because that's what they do. Always building. Always putting things in place. Always reinforcing. Always structure. Stabilizing structure. It's okay. We need those people. We need those builders. Like the Lego movie, we need the master builders. Okay. Looks like last card we're going to pull here. We don't want to go too long. Nobody will watch if we go too long. Okay. Oh, wow. Ouroboros. Snake. That brings it all together. Wow. That's excellent. Yeah. Because, you know, one or the other, but it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's not one or the other, it's all the same thing. Just different versions of the same thing. Wow. That's a snake, though. Oh, okay. I get it. Okay. Guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. Boy, if this isn't appropriate. The snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that Shakti, our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of our spine, in the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke it up? How can you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste, the snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. Prosperous, creative, and charismatic. Yeah, if you don't hold in cold storage, there's no more time to waste. Get it done. Do you want to be in the garden with your friends in an abundance, or you want to be in the coffin? That's pretty much the message. So, hopefully you got the message. All right. Like, share, subscribe, if you will. Thank you, subscribers, for supporting me. And I'll be around. I'll see you later.